Welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger. Daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you guys are spamming the like button, hitting the share, so other people can spam that like button. Let's get into it. As of the time of recording, Bitcoin is currently sitting at $86,392. We have this outlined over here. And what we're going to talk about is the daily RSI. We're going to go through the history of all the times that we have been this oversold. So we have a line here, and we're going to talk about each and every time that we have been this oversold on the daily, because the daily is different than being oversold on the being oversold on the 5 hour or the 4 hour or something like that. So we're going to talk about that. As of the time of recording, what we're seeing is the Fed is slowly, surely, exponentially going more and more every day towards no cuts in December. So right now the market has it at 60% chance there will not be any cuts in December. I think I saw JP Morgan as well put out there's not going to be cuts. So this is a stark correction. Again, I need you guys to understand the difference. It does not matter if they cut. It doesn't matter if they raise rates. It doesn't matter if they stay the same. What matters is, what does the market expect them to do? Jesus, something went in my nose. What does the market expect them to do? Okay, and right now the market has uncertainty, and that's not good. Okay, not good. As of the time of recording, the fear and greed on CMC is 15, and it's been that way for the last, basically it's been under 30 since November. All of November has been under 30. The same for the fear and greed, and the same story. All of November we have been under 30. So extreme fear for an extremely long periods of time. But, so I have this fractal pulled up, and in a nutshell, this is how I think that we are going to play out in some form or fashion. Obviously, it's going to be different in some ways. But right now, I want to point your attention to the daily RSI and how oversold we are right now. Okay, we're extremely oversold on the daily, which is way more powerful than the 5 hour or the 15-minute. Being oversold on the daily means something. In fact, we're going to look at the history of every time. We have the line here where we're at right now. Every time Bitcoin has been this oversold, and what happened after that took place. Okay. Spoiler alert. This is the point. We thought basically getting into the $80,000 range that's where we're going to get to. Before getting a bounce to about high 90s, low 100s, and then we'll see. Are we going to roll back over after that? Are we going to continue? But this is the point where we would expect a bounce, and we're going to go through the history, Bitcoin's entire history of being this oversold. All right, because I understand there's a difference between being oversold, and we can be oversold for a while. All that's fine. But let's see what actually happened, what actually transpired in the moments, okay? So the first time we ever got this oversold was July 13th, or July 6th, 2013. And that was the bottom, basically, for Bitcoin. And we have never went lower, ever. Immediately. We have never went lower, ever, since that time. Okay, so that's the first instance, and we're going to keep a tally here. And immediately afterwards, within 3 days, I mean, this is in Bitcoin's infancy, but it had a 62% rally. Now, I'm not expecting in the next 3 days we're going to 62% rally. That is not what I'm predicting. Okay, this is the worst case right here. This is the worst one I could find right here, which was Friday the 15th, August 2014. This particular date right here was the worst that I could find in Bitcoin's history when we got this oversold, where you can see we continued to go lower. But it was not before a 22% bounce, and we did not make a new low for 37 days. It took us to make a new low. Okay, and then obviously right here you could see this is a local bottom, and we immediately went on to do another 62% from there. So let's continue. This was the bottom in 2015. Immediate bounce, we never went lower. This was the local bottom, immediate bounce, we never went lower. Okay, so this one right here is the only one where we continue to go lower, but not before a 20% bounce. And it took 41 days before we actually made a new low. Let us continue. The next one was November 18th. November 28th, 2018. That was the bottom. We had an immediate bounce, but we never went lower. Then we had the C19 correction. Immediate bounce, we never went lower. All right, here's another bad case, which you can make an argument that this is maybe what we're doing here. This was May 10th, 2022. We had a 29% bounce. We did not make a new low for 40 days. And then went on to do the selling climax of the market, which was the Luna collapse. Most of the altcoins bottomed here. Bitcoin did not. But again, immediate bounce, 38% rally before 143 days making a new low. FTX was not even this low on the RSI. The war in Israel, August. So August 21st, 2023. Bitcoin went, you ready for it? Well, it had an immediate bounce of 10%. But after that, we went 0.5% lower before that being it, and before rocketing all the way to 48K. 100% rally from there. You could say this, although it's not technically as low. This was basically the April bottom as well. And this was a bullish divergence, so you could see this. And this is basically what I think is going to happen. I do think that we are going to go lower from here, but I think we're going to have a bounce and waddle our way lower like we did over here. That's what I think is going to happen. But you could see, even from here, we did go lower twice, actually. We went from 78K down to 76K, down to 74K. But again, it was not before a 22% rally. Before the actual bottom, April 7th, came in. That's kind of what I anticipate is going to happen. I think we're going to get a bullish divergence on the daily. But I think first, we're going to get an immediate rally. Now, this doesn't mean tomorrow or the next hour, but I think in the next week or so, we're going to get a rally of 20+%. That was the lowest we could find when we were this oversold. And I understand you can be oversold for a long time. I get that. This is different, though. This is different than just being oversold. This is oversold. This is extreme levels of oversold, where we've only been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times in Bitcoin's history have we been this oversold on the daily. Okay, so this is not a normal level of being oversold. And I understand that is true. That is a true statement. You can be oversold for a long time. That is true. Like, this is being oversold for a long time. This is being oversold for a long time. All of this is oversold for a long time. All that's true. It's different, though, when you are in extreme levels like we are. Below the 20s. Below the teens, actually. We're at 16.5% right now. An insane level. So this is kind of basically how I think our bear market is going to be. I don't think it's going to be nearly as long as people think. I don't think it's going to be, people are going to be bearish for entirely too long. This would have us, if we follow this fractal perfectly, we're going to start to get a bullish divergence, and we're going to continue to kind of skid our way after having some bounces along the way. And I think that's a high probability. I think that is a high probability for how things are going to play out for Bitcoin. Today, pretty much everything's getting crushed today. Gold is getting crushed. The stock market had one of the worst days in history. The Dow Jones had one of the most violent days. Silver's down. The S&P is down. Everything is down. Everything is in fear. No alt season. It's not hopium, bro. I just gave you all, literally, I went through every single data. I gave you every single data. I'm telling you, I think we're going to go lower. I gave you every single data in Bitcoin's history. The entire history of Bitcoin. And I talked about every single time we got to this level of being oversold on the daily chart. This is not hopium. This is statium. This is data-ium. Okay? You make your own decisions. You make your own choices. I'm telling you what the data has shown us over the last 15 years for Bitcoin. When we got to this level, it's only happened 13 times. I just went through literally one by one. Where did it go? How long did it take? Did it make a new bottom? How long did that take? I just went through all of that. It's not hopium. I'm showing you the data. I'm showing you the facts. This is the absolute data going through 3 bear markets, 3 bull markets. That is a good general strategy, especially when it gets extreme levels, like below the 20s. Like an easy strategy that I think you can definitely be in the right flavor is like, if it's below 20, that's a good buy. If it's above 80, it's a time to sell. For sure, that's a good strategy. Should I sell my Bitcoin holdings? I don't think so. I think we're going to get a bounce. Volume is getting lit. How low are you thinking? Probably high 70s, low 80s. That's probably where we're going to go. Sonic's an extreme buy. I agree. I just bought 1,200. I'm going to be buying some more. Look at the weekly and the monthly. I know the weekly is starting to get oversold at this point. Monthly is not. It's not extreme. But even so, like, here's the past bear market. It only got to 22. 28 was most of the bear market. Here, let's show this. So here you go. Like, FTX was at 28. We are currently chilling at 32. So that should tell you where we're at on the weekly even. The lowest on the weekly that it's ever been was the 2018 bear market. We got to 25. So we're getting there. We're definitely getting there at this point. Like, that's a good point. The weekly. What was the last bear market? What was the time before that? The last one, the lowest point that we got was 2022. Most of the FTX was 28. Okay. The time before that, the lowest point was also 22. The time before that was 25 on the weekly. So we're getting pretty close. Like just a few days ago, this was at, or last Sunday, this was at 34. So we've already dropped 2 more points as well. That should tell you. Like this is already oversold. It's not an extreme level. Like it could go into the 20s, 22. Like that those have been the last 2 bear markets. Bear market bottoms. I'm not saying that the bear market bottom is going to be in though. What I'm saying is I think we're going to get an immediate bounce. But we're closer to the bear market bottom than we're not. You know, looking at history, literally. I miss when you were bullish. Listen, I'm bullish right now. Like, I think in the next week or 2, we're going to have a bounce to 100K. That's what I think is going to happen. That's the data that I just presented. Was like, hey, here's all the levels we have been this oversold. Here's what happened. Every single time you had a minimum of a 20% move. Every time was a minimum of a 20% move. And there was only one time that we went lower. It was by 0.5% within 28 days. And that was the war in Israel. This is the only time, right here. You went 0.5% lower, but it gave you a strong bullish divergence, which is one of the reasons I was so bullish on 9/11. Publicly, with video evidence. Do you not like XYO? No one said that, bro. I like XYO. Just because Bitcoin and ETH bounces doesn't mean alt will. That's true. That's true. 4-year cycle is dead. No, I haven't said 4-year cycle one time. Not one part of this analysis has anything to do with 4-year cycle. None. No part of this has anything to do with the 4-year cycle. None. All right, let's check out. Is VeChain cooked? No, I don't think so. I like VeChain a lot. It's one of the alts that I'm going to be adding. Yeah, that's the best thing to do. You look much better without the beard. You were getting cavemanish. I appreciate it, bro. We're so cooked. The heat is turning up. What are the coins Ski is looking at now? Bitcoin, VeChain, Sonic, HBAR, Blink, Solana. A lot of other stuff I like still. I'm just going to hold though. Like XRP is a hold for me. I'm not going to buy or sell unless we get a lot lower. Like there's a lot of coins that I like, but I'm just going to hold my position. But those are the main ones I'm going to be adding here. Hopefully that clarifies for everyone, right? I'm not saying like, oh, the value plays. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying the ones that I have the most conviction in right now. At these levels. But I still like a lot of other coins. It's just I'm just going to hold on those and I'm going to be adding to my positions on those, the other ones that I mentioned. Hopefully that makes sense. Short breakdown on ETH if we lose 2,800. I think probably, honestly, I'll be looking to scalp short Ethereum. But you know, I say that. Listen. Here's where you need to be cautious. Like if you're going to short in this market, you absolutely have to set stop losses and you have to honor them. Like, don't move your stop losses because you can get wrecked very quickly shorting in this space. It can turn on a dime. And if you've been in crypto, you know that for like when you least expect it, you get a bounce. And you cannot move your, listen, I need to caution that to you guys. Like, do not move your stop losses. Just eat your L and move on. Like, that's a dangerous game to play. Any medicine for devastating losses, or hodl is the true medicine? Okay, so hodling is a good thing to do. I'm happy to make a video on, like, you know, I will never tell anyone what to believe. I'll never tell anyone what to think or anything like that. I'm just not what I'm here to do. I'm not anyone's savior. I'm not anyone's king. Like, if you're looking for a savior, if you have a savior complex, it's not me. I assure you it's not me. Okay? So let's just get that out of everyone's head right now. Okay? Now, that being said, I can tell you guys the things that have helped me in the past, which is meditation, breathing exercise, prayer, journaling. These are all things that have helped me in dark times. Not even just crypto. Just dark times. So those are all things that have helped me personally. Nothing of that matters. Oversold and we go down. Good news, we go down. Stocks go up. Stocks are not up. Like, that's not true. Nor have we been this oversold since April. So there's a difference between being oversold on the 5-hour and being oversold on the daily. And I just went through all 13 times in Bitcoin's history, 15 years of trading, that it's been this oversold. It's only happened 13 times. 13 times. We have 13 data points. That's a cute little jingle, but like, what does the actual data say? The actual data says a 20% bounce is the minimum. There's only been one time where the 28-day low was not in, and it was 0.5%. It was right here. This is the only time in Bitcoin's history when you get this oversold, the 28-day low is not in. It was right here. It was the war in Israel, literally World War III kicking off, and it took us, you ready for this? You guys ready? It took us, oh, I can't even see it. Oh, excuse me, I lied. 1.6% lower. Before that being it. That was it. This gave us a strong bullish divergence, though. So listen, I'm not saying tomorrow, but I think in the next week or two, we're going to see a bounce. It could be tomorrow. That's a good oversimplification, a deco. We're so back. You still think 104 is next pump? Yes, I do. Dead cat bounce inevitable. Whether we continue to make an all-time high is the question. 100%. I 100% agree. Yes. 70K is on the board. 50K is not. Do you still think we'll have an alt season? Bitcoin needs to reclaim 112 for the bulls to be back in charge. Will we have one? Yes. The question is when. This seems a little extreme for just no rate cuts in December. Yeah, you're right. So what is the fundamental? That's a good point. Okay. What is the fundamental thing that happened? Binance coin got depegged, and no exchange could buy or sell on October 10th causing $20 billion to get liquidated. That's the fundamental thing that happened. Okay? That took us down from 126 down to 100K. That lost confidence and trust in the crypto system. And then we have skidded another 15K. In addition, with the economic concerns, with the tariffs and with the rate cuts. But yes, you're 100% right. It's extreme fear for just rate cuts. I agree. That's not true. I'm just oversimplifying an additional factor that is at play. I believe Bitcoin dominance will plummet and alts will outperform. I agree. I think so. What's up, Ski? You think this is possible? We're in a bounce in between two peaks like the previous bull run. Maybe. Let's see. I don't think we got this oversold though either. That's the thing though. Like we're like really, even over here we didn't get this oversold. 18, I guess it's in the same flavor, but we're technically even more oversold than this. But sure. Let's see, what does that look like? Like, are you saying this right here, basically? I think what you're saying is something like this. I don't know. I think we're more oversold than that. It's possible though. Bitcoin needs to reclaim 112. This let's see. Let's go all the way to the bear market. He's saying like basically like we're doing this right here. Right? I think that's what he's saying. So what does have it? This is having us at 70. I mean, maybe, sure. I'll buy it for $1. We'll keep this here. Who said that? We will ARG. We're gonna leave this as I'm not gonna take if this happens, ARG, you get my flowers. There we go. It's on the board. Let's make it a little cleaner here, because I mean, sure. It's pretty. There we go. That'd be about. There you go. There's the 4-year bear market. Down to 67. I don't, to me, it's probably like. I have no feeling left. Good. Are we finding support at 85K? I think within the next week, we're going to find support and we're going to get a bounce. That's what I think. If not today, I'm not predicting today. I'm not predicting tomorrow, but I think in the next week or so, we're going to find support and we're going to get a bounce. Because you don't just fall in a straight line with no bounces. That's not how any market has played. None. So there you go. We'll leave this for ARG. He has us peaking in August of 26. Free falling till 75. I doubt that very seriously. Again, here you go. Like we went over this at the beginning of the live stream. I have this line here every time. There's been 13 times in Bitcoin's history that we have gotten this oversold on the daily. 13 times it's happened. All of them got a minimum of a 20% bounce. That was the minimum. Only one did we go lower. It was 1.6% lower before that being it. And it was right here with the war in Israel. We went from $25.5 down to $24.9. Oh! That was the worst. That was the worst. But we did see a 10% bounce even before that. I just gave you all of the data. Here, we'll do it one more time. This is not my opinion. Here is the facts. Here's the data. You can draw your own opinion from this. Okay? I am on the daily chart, and I'm showing you how oversold we are right now. Show me a point in Bitcoin's history where we fall in a straight line with no bounces, number one. It did not happen here. We had many bounces. 1, 2, 3 bounces along the way. Show me a bear market where we had no bounces and just a straight line fall. Show me one. Show me one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Show me a bear market where that happened. It doesn't. That's not real. And number 2, here's what it looks like when we get this oversold. Let's go back. Let's do it one more time. If you want to say like, oh, you can be oversold a long time. Sure, that's true. Not extreme levels though. Under 15. There's been 13 times we have been this oversold. All right. The last one was February. What happened? Did we go lower? Yeah, we did. But what happened first? 21% move. Okay. We already talked about the war in Israel. That was pretty much the bottom, though. Luna collapse. That was the buying climax of most of the altcoins. Bitcoin went lower. Not before a 42% rally and not 142 days later did we go lower. Right here, May of 2022. What happened when we got this oversold? Immediately, 30% rally before 41 days later, finally making a new low. Okay, let's continue. January 2022. Immediate 40% rally. As high as 50% rally. Before finally making a new low 109 days later. Let's continue. C19 crash. We never went lower. To this day, we haven't went lower. November 2018. That was the bottom. We did not go lower. Immediate rally. So this isn't my opinion, bro. I'm literally showing the data. I am showing you the data. 30% rally. August 2002, or not 2002, excuse me, August 2nd, 2016. 37% rally, never went lower to this day. August 15th, August 2015. Never went lower, immediate rally. 26%. January 2015, that was the bottom. Never went lower. Immediate 89% rally. July 2013. Immediate 140% rally. Here you go. Here's the worst that I could find. The worst in history that I could find was right here. Right here. We went much lower. But not before a 23% rally. So it's not my opinion, bro. I'm showing you the data of when you get this oversold. I went over every single time. There's no cherry picking here. Every single time in the history, the last 15 years. Every single time, too, people are bearish for way too long. What were they? Let's recap too. What were they screaming at 15K? Who was here at 15K? 15,500. What were they screaming for? 12K. They were screaming for 12K. How about Silicon Valley Bank? What were they screaming for when we were at 20K? 12K. How about the war in Israel? What were they screaming for? 12K. Okay. How about Germany and Mt. Gox? What were they screaming for? 30K. How about Japan cutting the rate at 49K? What were they screaming for? 30K. How about the April tariffs? What were they screaming for? 72K. 50K. Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. All right. Make sure you guys. So what now? I think in the next week we're going to get a relief rally. Minimum 20% because that's what history shows us. That was the worst I could find was 20%. The absolute worst that I could find was a 20% rally. Cut it in half. Call it 10%. What do you got? 94K. There you go. Should I sell my Bitcoin? Why? Kadena is on Black Friday sale. Didn't Kadena stop operations? I'm pretty sure that's a thing, bro. I don't know. Maybe you're being funny. I'm pretty sure they did, though. Yeah. This isn't a Black Friday sale, bro. Damn, that's crazy. Okay, all right. You're being funny. I get it. I get it. You got me, bro. You got me, bro. I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying we're not going to 75K. 75K is on the board. I'm saying we're not going straight there with no bounces. That's what I'm telling you. 75K is on the board. I'm not saying we're not going to 75K. I'm saying we're not going straight there with no bounces. That doesn't happen. Like, show me a bear market where there was no bounces along the way. Show me. Everyone wants a dip until we get a massive dip, 100%. This is probably all Binance market makers manipulate 100%. Like, most of this is because of Binance. You need to decide at rally if you sell or hold. That's the thing, 100%. 100%. When are alts going to rally? We got to get Bitcoin rallying first. FCZ. Yeah, literally. Will MicroStrategy recover? I don't know. What's the FDV of MicroStrategy? What is it? MSTR? Stock? FDV? What is their fully diluted value? Here we go. This isn't what I do. Where is their FDV? Because I don't know what their inflation is. Does anyone know that? Like, what is the market cap versus their fully diluted value? I think I just saw a market cap. I don't look at stocks like this. Where is their... I swore I just saw market cap. Here we go. 50 billion. Okay, so what is their, like... Does anyone know their fully diluted market cap? That's what I'd be curious to know. I don't know what the answer to that is. That would help me give you your answer though, because I don't know how much inflation they have. Like, how many stock splits do they do? I don't know the answer to that. Like, I would just rather have Bitcoin, personally. But if what I need to know to give you like the exact percentage, I need to know how much they have diluted their stock. I don't know the answer to that. So here's their market cap. Okay, and I'll give you an example, right? So if I look at Bitcoin, for example, if I look at Bitcoin, I can look at their market cap. It's 1.7 trillion. I can see their FDV, fully diluted value. It's 1.79 trillion. So that shows me the inflation. What is left? I don't know how to find that for Meister. But you could base it based off of market cap. You could do that. FTV is 54.4 billion. Okay, thank you. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty close. That's not a crazy amount of inflation. All right, let's look at the chart then. That's not a crazy amount of inflation. I would keep an eye on their market cap. Man, y'all tell me Wyckoff don't work, bro. It happens again and again. Oh, I already have a fib pulled. Let's see where this went to. Come on now. Bro, I already had a fib pulled. That's insane. Look at where this went to. The 3618 perfectly. We nailed the 4236. So it's probably going to revisit. Honestly, it's probably going to revisit the all-time high. That's pretty common. I don't know. Let me see if I can find a weekly here. That's insane. So this is just probably just a 1618 from the, what is this, the .com bubble? Whoa. Yeah, this is a 1618 parabolic extension. Who held for 25 years to get your price discovery from the .com bubble? That's crazy. There's a decent bit of support on Meister down here. 137, 130, somewhere in there. How oversold is this? This is starting to get pretty oversold as well on the daily. So, you know, we'll give it a retrace. Sure. We'll do that. We'll say it's going to go to 130. Retrace would be 360. Price discovery would be 750. I think those are likely moves. No, they split their shares at that time. What do they like that? You need to pay attention to market cap. I would do this based off of market cap, to be honest. So 1.2x from, what is it, 50 billion? So 120 billion, 110 billion. Like, just pay attention to market cap. 110 billion, and then 3 point, I don't even know what that is. 3.3 times 50. You can know based off of the market cap. 3.3 times 50. 165 billion. So there you go. When the market cap, that would be price discovery, would be 165 billion. That's probably going to take a solid year plus, 2-3 years. Before Bitcoin. Oh, okay. Either way, pay attention to, listen, market cap don't lie. Pay attention to market cap. Market cap will tell you the truth. Either way, like, that's just good practice. Just make your analysis based off of market cap. That tells you the truth. That's good practice on stocks. That's good practice on Bitcoin, crypto, everything. Make your analysis based off of market cap because that is the truth. I like Chainlink. Is the bottom in? I think we're getting pretty damn close. At least to a local bottom. Like, I think we're going to get some sort of relief rally in the next week or so. Odds Bitcoin get to 70K. Eventually or straight to 70K? What are the odds that Bitcoin goes to 70K eventually or straight there? With no relief bounce. If you're asking me that, I'd say very low. If you're asking me what are the odds that we go to 70K eventually, decent. Probably like 35%. Probably like 35%. Do you follow heat maps? Not really. I think they're just too popular. If you find value in that, then use it. I personally don't like using stuff that everyone uses. I want to have my own vision. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I like to have my own thoughts. I like to have my own ideas. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I want to live and die by my own sword. And I'm okay with the results. I'm okay with being system-based, process-based, and whatever the outcome is, I accept. So, like, for instance, I don't use the 4-hour chart because of that reason. I only use the 5-hour chart and the 3-hour chart. I use the daily a lot as well. But, like, where most people use the 4-hour chart, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong to use the 4-hour chart. I'm just telling you how I operate. I operate differently because I want to see things differently. I don't want to have the same view as everyone else. And I will live with those results. I don't get everything right. I get things wrong. I just shaved my beard because I was wrong. It happens. But I would, put my track record against anybody. Do you see Bitcoin getting back to 126? My bear case this cycle was 130. At what point? Like ever? Yeah, for sure. Probably within a year, I would say. We got a battle, I would say, at 112 before we're, the Bulls are fully back in charge at this point. Every correction this run, the start ETF launch has been 32%. We just hit 32% again. Possible bottom bait here. Yeah. So I assume you're talking about for XRP. But see, I need a Cybertruck. Anyone else looking to buy a fat pack of Solnic? These prices are a killer deal. I believe so too. I'm going to be buying every week. On everything I love, brother. On everything. As long as there's blood pumping through my veins, I will continue to DCA into Solnic. I will continue to push. I will continue to develop and continue to make it better and better and better. Is it going to be a straight line up? No. Are there going to be red days? Yes. Are there going to be bumps in the road? Are there going to be mistakes made? Yes. Yes. But will there be a point where I ever stop? Not before I die. Jimmy says he bought 1K today. Let's go. Would Bitcoin continue to push down? Not without a bounce. All delusional bulls. Who's these, bro? I said 95K is when I am no longer bullish and I shave my beard. Like, who is these? Now, delusional bears is the thing, too. And what happens with delusional bears is they think we're going to go way lower for way longer. And they always wait for the day that never comes. They always think no bounces, straight line down. That's not real. What's the point of a 20% rally? Well, you tell me what Ethereum would do during a 20% rally. It's going to give you guys a good place to de-risk some of your stuff. Stock market fear and greed is at 6. That is insane. Holy shikes. Holy schneizers. Ah! 6, bro. That is crazy. Okay, where is the... I'm trying to find the history because now I'm curious. I would like to see... Oh, here we go. This is exactly what I was looking for. All right, let's check out the stock market, bro. Like, is this based off of the Dow Jones? What is this based off of? Is it? It's all three of them? I agree, brother. Like, we're gonna. I think a pump to 100K, Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin. Solana is going to outperform Bitcoin. So if we get a 20% rally, you might get a 40% rally into Ethereum. All right, I'm curious now because I need to know, like, is this the Dow Jones or is this the S&P? Let's just look. What is this? Is this is the S&P? Okay. Yes, we haven't been this low since April. We got the 3. Is this? It only gives us this year though. That sucks. I wish I had like 100 years. Okay. Okay, so this is the lowest we've been since April. Probably, yeah, Web. Got some Telcoin. All right, let's look at Telcoin. By the way, guys, check out the link In my bio for what is it? VBetter, the sponsor of this live stream. You can earn VeChain rewards by saving plastic and doing all kind of cool stuff. They launched in 2024. Provide small incentives, coordinated chain incentive actions into solutions for global challenges. Less than a year in the ecosystem, it has delivered exactly that. Over 37 million verified actions across 5 million wallets. Collectively, these contributions have reduced 208,000 kilograms of plastic. Very cool stuff. So if you guys want to figure out how you can earn VeChain rewards with VBetter, Stargate, check out the links in my description for that. Now back to the action. What do we got here? Telcoin. Look, I'm sponsored by VeChain. VeChain is my highest conviction blue chip outside of Bitcoin, for sure. Like, I've been saying that forever. I've been saying that years before they ever reached. I only got sponsored by them like 2 weeks ago. I've been saying that forever. So it's still my highest conviction bag. When would you admit it's done? Bro, I shaved my beard at 95K. What do you want from me, bro? I shaved my beard. That was my admission of, like, hey, I was wrong about my read on Bitcoin. Is that what you're talking about? This has been holding up pretty damn good, bro. Like, what? Bro, let me find out. This looks pretty good. Why is my highest conviction read? Rose looks good, Neo. You can call me Neo. At what price would you like? Bitcoin is the king. I'll never say no all season. It just means it's going to be delayed. The question is how long. But like me shaving my beard was admission of that. That was admission that I was wrong. Why is my highest conviction read? What are you saying, Rich? What are you saying, bro? This looks pretty good. I like the support. We would want to hold this. But this is low-key been performing a lot better, actually, than most altcoins right now. This is kind of giving you the same vibes as... I might add this to the spring list, bro. Like, of ICP. Bitcoin update. We just did one. I'll do it again, but essentially, Bitcoin's the most oversold it's been. It's only been this oversold on the daily chart, which is an important distinction. Let me finish this before I get distracted. Yeah, we need to take out 007. Didn't quite make a higher high here. And, you know, we're probably going to visit down here, but I would like to see these lows hold over here and just stay in this range. But the next big level to consider is 0075 where you can really get going. Fartcoin been outperforming Sol. Fartcoin is an early indicator of how Sol is going to perform. Yeah, I do think VeChain rallies a bit for sure. Like, listen, there's like 6 coins that I'm adding. I have coins that I'm holding, I'm not doing anything with. There's 6 coins that I'm buying right now at these levels through the next 30 years, however long it takes. It's Bitcoin, it's Solana, it's VeChain, it's Solnic, it's HBAR, it's Chainlink. Why so much conviction on VeChain? Check out the white paper, bro. Like they're partnered with Amazon, they're partnered with the UFC, they're partnered with Walmart. They have like actual stuff that's really being built. Just look at their white paper, bro. They have good tokenomics. They have a good chart. If you were saying red instead of read, I don't. Is you're saying why is my highest conviction read? It has nothing to do with price go up, price go down. I've been red on XRP. I was red on XRP for like 3 or 5 years, bro. Like I am patient. I can be patient until I'm correct. If I have high enough conviction. You always say bull run doesn't end in fear, so why are you saying bear market now? That's never happened before. That's never happened before. But I had to shave my beard, so I have to admit that like something happened, and I'm okay to be wrong twice. I'm okay. Listen, here's a weakness of mine. I've said this before. What do you guys know about me? And by the way, let's start here. This is what I think the bear market is going to look like. Like, maybe we get to 78K, bro. We are much closer to the bottom than we're not. On the weekly RSI, we are at 32 right now. Okay? The last bottom was 22. The bottom before that was 22 as well. The bottom before that in 2015 was 26. We are closer than you may think. I don't think it's going to take this like see you in 4 years is silly. It's nonsensical. Like very silly. Monthly got to 42.40. We're at 60. So maybe we have a couple of months of working its way out here. The weekly, though, is a lot closer than what you might think. He says, I got 10 million Solnic now. Let's go, brother. There's a bearish divergence on the monthly. Maybe. I'll buy that for $1. There's a bullish divergence on the daily. So, like, which happens first? Selling. That's a solid portfolio, bro. Bitcoin, Solnic, Brett, XYO, XRP, VeChain, HBAR. I have no quarrels with any of those. Ondo has too much inflation. Right, that's the best thing to do. Well, all right. Here, let me recap what I think is next. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months. I don't know. This is what I suspect is going to happen, but I think in the next month, probably in the next week, but within the next month, I think we're going to get a bounce. High 90s, 110, somewhere in that range. 20%. That every time we've been this oversold, it's been 13 times, we've had a minimum of a 20% move. Call it 15. The minimum 13 other times has been 20. Let's call it 15. That's 98K. That to me is what's next, and then we'll see what happens. You think the next run ETH hits 10K? Probably 9. I thought it would go higher this time, though. Like, it's been disappointing this run. Ton's chart looks like very strong compared to a very weak market. Let's look at Rose. Rose has been holding up pretty good here. I would like to... What in the world? Computer's messing up here. I think so. Like, I would like to fully reclaim this, which we're holding this as support. So I want to see a balance here. I don't want to see it lose this level and then put in a new low. That would not be good. But if we bounce off of this level, that you could say is a spring, just like ICP, just like a lot of the other coins. Inflation on Flux, it's pretty low. What is the inflation on Flux? It's pretty low. Uh, 48 million. FDV is 67 million. So there you go. Like 20-something% over its lifetime. I know it has halvings just like Bitcoin. So there you go. It's solid. Before 1010. Yeah, literally. That's true. That's very true. Like, that was a proper black swan. It did mess a lot of things up. But not permanently. It's just a setback. Just like Trump's meme coins were a setback for the market. Q1 26. Bitcoin needs to reclaim 112. That is going to be first. But there's a chance that that happens in 2026. I don't like if we do what I think is going to happen. I think it's May Bitcoin would be making a new all-time high. I think that's what I have it as with the fractal. March of 26. So sure, yeah, that's on the board. My brother Babyface Ski. You think Solnick hits 1 cent in a year? Yeah, I do. So, like, what happened last time? Did it take a year to go to 1 cent? Let's see. What does history say? So last time we went to 400K. That was the last bear market for Solnick. And then went to 1 cent, 1.1 cents in 85 days. So does it take a year? No, it doesn't. Save us, Ski. Bottom is leveling out alt season by Christmas. I would listen, you guys know a weakness of mine. If you follow me for any amount of time, my biggest weakness is I will spot moves painfully in advance and I will move off of them. I've done that at least 5 times in my career. If it happens again, I want you guys to roast me so hard. Genuinely. And I will not be taking credit. I will not. I'll call it in 39K. What are you calling in 39K? Ethereum is going to hit 39K before Bitcoin does. You look better with the beard. I agree. I agree, bro. But I'm a man of my word. I pay my debts. I said I would shave my beard if we close daily body below 95K. Here I am with no beard. I didn't want to shave my beard. I shaved my beard because I promised I would. I had the wrong analysis, and I held myself accountable for that. Win stubble bets. I'll shave my head if we go below 50. How about that? What's the reversal zone for Bitcoin now? I don't know about a full reverse, but a dead cat bounce. A dead cat bounce. Possible from 85. 104. It's still going lower. Maybe. We'll see. Probably. Like, eventually. 78K. Sure. 70K is on the board, but I think we're going to get a bounce to 100 first. What time are you charting on? 1 day. The daily chart. Yeah, okay, so listen, I'll do one more recap of Bitcoin and then I'm going to bounce. Right now, the RSI on the daily chart. It's an important distinction to make because I've talked a lot about the 5 hour, and I know it's hard to decipher the weight of what I'm saying, the gravity of what I'm saying, okay? The gravity of what I'm saying, the weight of what I'm saying is exponentially larger than what I have been saying. Okay, so I've been talking a lot about the 5 hour and us getting bullish divergences on the 5 hour chart. I'll show that real quick. That's still true. That is valid. That is continuing to be valid, by the way. So this isn't gone. This bullish divergence is continuing. Okay, what is a bullish divergence? So this has a decent bit of weight on the 5 hour. So what is it? Just for everyone's essay. That's a military term. I need to stop doing that. Normal people don't say that. So it's where the price is going down, the RSI is going up. That's a bullish divergence. You also see this at tops, which we had one at the top. Okay, you can see it. It's kind of a small one, but we had one. And we had a bigger one. That's a bullish or a bearish divergence right here. All right. These happen at tops and they happen at bottoms. They take a while to play out. Okay. So this has a decent bit of weight. What has more weight, a lot more weight than that, is the daily. If something happens on the daily, there's a lot of weight to it. Like double, triple, quadruple the weight of what I just showed you about the 5 hour is what I'm about to show you right now. At least 3 times the weight, I would say. Mathematically, 4 times the weight, right? Okay, now, first of all, let's just say, because there's context that needs to be, a chart can be overbought and it can be oversold for a long time. That is true. However, what you don't see for a long time is the extreme levels. Okay? Which is like above 90, above 85, 90, and below 15. Okay? Now, specifically, those are extremes. They do not stay in those levels for a long time. If you want to say like 30 to 70, sure. We can be overbought in the 70 to 80 range for a long time. We can be oversold in the 40 to 20 range for a long time. That's true. When we start getting in the teens, though, and we start getting into the mid 80s, 90s, that's not true anymore. There's no data to support that. So you'll hear people say things like, we can be overbought, we can be oversold for a long time, blah, 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 blah. There's no data to support the extremes, okay? Now, on the daily right now, we are currently at 16.29, and I put a line here to represent that all the way across the history of Bitcoin. All right? I challenge you to do this yourself on the daily chart and try to dispute what I'm saying. Okay? But we'll go through it real quick. There's been about 13 times it's been this oversold on the daily chart. What happened? All right. We'll do it real quick. Time number 1, June 2013. Local bottom was in. We never went lower. Immediate 50% rally. This was the absolute best case I could find for the bears to say, hey, we went lower. The best case I could find for the bears. Not before, however, a 25% rally, and it took 42 days to make a new low. This was the best case I could find for the bears. All right, here's the other time. October 2014. Local bottom, immediate 63% rally. Did not make a new low for 88 days. This January 2015 was the bottom. We never went lower. To this day, we have not went lower. Had an immediate rally of 100%. August 2015, never went lower to this very day. Immediate rally, 23% before having a bigger rally. You could count this too. We could count this, but it's not even the same level. But sure, we'll count this while we're at it to say like comparable times. August 2016. Never went lower. Immediate rally, 27 to 37%, depending on how you want to count it. And this was a bigger run, actually. The start of a bigger run. C19. Right here. No, I lied. We're ahead of schedule here. November. This was the bottom. We technically went slightly lower. How many days was this? 10% lower. 18 days later. But that was basically the bottom. 31% immediate rally before that happened, though. Okay? C19, we never went lower for a second. Immediate rally, 90%. This also not to the same levels, but this was our like middle of the bottom here. And again, we had an immediate rally. But I'm not even going to count this one because it's not to the same level. But sure, we'll do it just for fun. That's a 39% immediate rally. This also not the same level, but we'll count it for fun because it's similar. January of 2022, immediate rally. 40% did not make another low for 100 days. May of 2022, immediate rally, 30%, did not make another low for 35 days. Let me see. 36 days, did not make a new low. Luna, this was the buying climax of the market, meaning most of the altcoins actually bottomed here. Bitcoin did not, but it had a 41% rally, did not make a new low for 149 days. The war in Israel, technically the RSI was oversold in August. We had an immediate rally of 10%, went down 1.5% before immediate rally of 30%. And then the April crash, this was technically March, or excuse me, yeah, this was March. Same thing, like we did go lower. But the bottom, this was 78K, and we bottomed at 74K. But again, immediate rally, 21%. So there you go. And here's where we're at right now. So that's what I expect, a 20% rally minimum. And then sure, if we want to make a new low after that, sure, it's probably going to be 28 days. If you don't believe in the dollar long-term, crypto vision hasn't changed. 100%. I'll buy that, bro. I'll buy 80. What's your number? 81.25 to 98? Sure, I'll buy that. Megan, how many times have I bet my beard or my hair? And how many have came true where I actually had to cut it? You've been following me long enough to know. I bet it 10 times. I only had to shave it once. All right. So there you go. I've been live for too long at this point. That is going to be it for this time, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. Appreciate you guys. I'll be live tomorrow. I'm going to try to be live earlier. I'll try to put it out an hour before I go live. I didn't do that today. I apologize. My goal is to be live by 5 tomorrow, p.m. Central Time. Somewhere between 5 and 8 is generally when I go live, though. All right. But I'll be live every day. Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless.